I'm Caitlyn Becker. Today we are at the Brooklyn Society for Ethical Culture, talking animation with cartoonist Jason Dubin. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Jason.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk cartooning.
Can you be more specific?
I think you need to be more specific. You know more about this than I do.
Okay, basically, I've been animating since around the turn of the century, though technically I've really been doing before. When I was at Yale, I studied with Faith Hubley. She was the wife of John Hubley, who was the inventor of Mr. Magoo. But other than that, I'm pretty much self-taught, which has pretty much been the bane of my life.
Do you do most of it on computers, or are you physically drawing most of everything?
Totally on computers. I used to draw manually, but ultimately I think it comes down to control. Digitally offers a level of control that my hand just cannot do.
Right. With something like animation, I feel like it's something for children, and they really can be creative. And as you get older, you lose a lot of that innocence. How do you stay creative and fresh with something like animation?
Well, I mean, if you look at what's on the market today, I would not describe a lot of it as innocent. I wouldn't describe Aqua Teen Hunger Force as innocent, or Family Guy. If anything, I think the cartoons now have gotten very mean, at least the stuff what they have for adults. Family Guy is mean and misogynistic. What's that other one? South Park is mean and very queer. Even The Simpsons has a pretty strong mean streak.
Where do you sit on the spectrum of sort of nice or for children versus adult and a little sassier? Where are you?
Well, I think my work is definitely for adults, but it lacks meanness, and I think that's probably affected my career a lot.
For someone that wants to get into animation or cartooning, what do you need? What kind of chops do you need to last in this business for as long as you have?
It ultimately comes down to patience. It's very focused work. It's very complicated work. I can spend like 100 hours on a cartoon easily. So I guess the magic word is focus. You need to be focused.
Okay, can you walk me through the process? Do you come up with a concept first and then you try to sort of put the images, or do the images come first and then you try to develop your concept around it?
As a rule, I personally don't work with storyboards, or should I say the storyboard is in here. When I was getting working on music videos, it was like pretty much driven by the sound. And ultimately, with all animation, as Joseph Barbera once said, the sound is the most important thing out of a cartoon. If the sound isn't right, it really doesn't matter what you do. So as you'll see when you get to my website, most of the music I use is from like the 30s and the 20s because it's free. I have friends who are musicians, and there are actors I could possibly use, but I was brought up by communists, so I'm not comfortable with exploiting my friends.
You were raised by communists?
Yes.
Has that affected what you do artistically at all?
Oh, okay, we'll put it this way. When I was at Yale, I realized that I probably could have done really well. I could have been a newsreader. I could have gone into advertising or maybe even politics. But I didn't want to spend my life lying to people. So I pushed a broom.
But you're also an artist.
Yes.
I mean, your day job certainly isn't affecting your art.
I'm an artist by choice. It's like a compulsion. It's like the fungus between your toes. It's there. It ain't going away no matter what you do.
What's your favorite part about what you do? Sorry, I didn't mean to stump you.
Don't know if it's like I said, it's just something I have to do. I don't know. I mean, there is some satisfaction with the work. I've been in like 15 film festivals, but ever since the economy went into the hell, I haven't made a dime. I had, like, in the beginning of 2008, I had $25,000 worth of work all lined up. And then March came, and as we all know, the price of gas quadrupled. And I was mostly doing music videos for unsigned acts. You know how it is in this business. If you have management, if you don't have management, you can't go nowhere. And back before gas went crazy, these kids, with their small acts, they could dig up $1,000. But now, if you're touring at all and you have to spend so much on gas, there's no money for that. I haven't, like I said, I haven't done a music video for someone since like 2008.
Wow. So talk to me about film festivals. You said you've been in some, not film, yes, film festivals. Is it still called film, or is it animation festivals?
Yeah, well, they're basically film. I've never been in a festival that was specifically just animation.
What does it take to get into something like that?
Usually like $35. I would say most film festivals are just an excuse for some people to throw a party. The really important ones, your film gets picked before it's done. In fact, I almost got into the one, oh, I'm really bad with names. He plays mobsters, Tribeca. I nearly got
De Niro.
into Tribeca. But at the last minute, I got pulled because it was through J. Crew. They were doing a series over there. And I got past a couple of people in the J. Crew thing, but when it went to the final level, they decided that they wouldn't run my thing. Because, as you'll see, my work can be on a political style.
Let's talk about your work, actually, now that you've just let us in there. Okay. You know, subject matters, inspirations, where are you pulling this kind of things from?
Like I said, I'm picking music that's mostly from the 20s and 30s, and as you can imagine, a lot of the themes that they were covering back then are as current as now. You'll see some of the videos relate to like drug use, some sexuality, some are just alcohol or just fun, you know. Ultimately, if you can't entertain yourself, then you can't entertain anyone.
Do you have a specific genre of those that you've listed that you like to focus on the most, or is it the variety that you enjoy in what you do?
I just pick what's good. If it's, if you look historically, most of what we produce as artists is crap. You know, maybe 1/10, if 1% is something really good. So I listen to a lot of these old songs, and I try to pick the ones that are timely enough or universal enough or just really bizarre. And that's what I tend to run with.
Do you want to show me some?
Let's see. This is the last thing I actually got paid for. This is Project Jenny, Project Jan. They are, I guess, a music group. I guess modern music. So get some sound up. Oops. Up. Hey, when that happens. All right, let's get the sound up. This song was designed to be like a love song for the greatest borough in the world. That's what the writers had done.
And is this one of the songs that you pulled from the 30s and 40s?
No, actually, this was something that someone paid me to do.
Gotcha.
Oh, you get the idea. Let's see. I can get something.
So how long does something like that take to actually produce, from start to finish?
About 100 hours. It varies. Some of the cartoons, since I have a stable of characters that I use on the ones that I'm not getting paid for, it's not like I'm totally redrawing every time. I'm using the same characters over and over again. So one of those could take me about maybe 50 hours. But if I'm dealing with someone who's actually paying me money, I will make everything from scratch, including all new characters, all specific to their needs, and that depends on the talent. I had this one person, they were rappers, and they kept changing what they wanted to be. At one point, they decided that they wanted to be like Power Rangers. Okay. So that one took me about maybe 5 weeks because they were also very, what's the word, vain is the word. They were very specific about how they wanted to be viewed. So I had to spend at least a couple weeks just coming up with images until they were happy with how they were being portrayed.
Okay, so what's your next step?
To be honest, I'm totally blocked right now. I just recently discovered that 2 cartoon characters that I had created in the 90s have shown up on a Disney cartoon. And after talking to lawyers, I learned there was really nothing I can do about it. And the shock of the experience has pretty much dried me up for a while.
How do you deal with a block?
When I have money, I go to Amsterdam and I sleep with prostitutes, and that usually does.
Gets the creativity flowing?
Maybe. definitely maybe. But
All right.
no money for that.
Well, I suppose you've heard it. Even all artists and cartoonists get blocks and sort of find their different ways to deal with it. Thank you so much for joining us.